Sa arkitekto, sigurado. Woot!
2017 was a great year for real estate. Bakit? Ang ganda kasi ng economy. Napakaraming contractors, architects, everyone in the construction industry were very happy because of the continued business. Karamihan doon is more on the luxury market. So when we say the luxury market, it's either high-end subdivisions or condominium projects. And as much as gusto natin yung bahay natin with that white picket fence and with that large lawn where we can have our dogs run around, sadly, unless you're buying in the outskirts of Manila, chances are, ang mabibili mo na lang ngayon is a condominium unit. Condominium units, of course, nandiyan yung high-end condominium units. Nandiyan na yung hindi naman low-end, but, they're more on the economic side. Regardless of where your condominium is, if you're looking to renovate or redevelop it, naturally, there are things to consider before you get into that project. Condominium units are delivered basically in two ways, whether it's been finished or bare. Let's talk about that. When we say finished, leto na yan, may tiles, may ceiling, may paint na yung walls, finish na yung walls, may bathroom and everything. Pretty much the unit is complete, except that, let's just say that some or most of these units are delivered with basic fixtures. So if the basic features don't suit your taste, then definitely you would want to renovate. Now the other type is when the condominium unit is delivered to you bare. I personally advise that to people simply because, for one, it's cheaper, and two, you'd be assured that everything that you install there is to your liking or to your taste. But either way, the very first step that you have to do is get a set of the construction guidelines provided by the administration. Architect, kailangan ba natin ng building permit pagdating dyan? Kadalasan, hindi na napapansin yan dahil nasa loob naman siya ng building and hindi na naaabot ng mga agents of the municipality or the city. I'm not saying you should do it, but I would say that you should go by the guidelines of the building's administration. Sila man magsasabi sa inyo kung kailangan ba talaga or not. Na parang extension na ng building permit nung condominium itself, yung lahat ng individual units na meron yung building. But you definitely need the approval or the permit of the building administration. Meron sila sariling laws within the building with what you can do and what you cannot do in your condominium unit. Now, when you apply for the renovation of a condominium unit, established developers will ask you already for a floor plan. Kailangan nyo na rin lagyan yan ng electrical plan, if necessary, kung meron kayong babaguhin, plumbing and sanitary plan, and most especially kung may babaguhin kayo sa sprinkler system, a mechanical plan. Which brings me to my first point. Condo units, based on the fire code, are required by law to have a sprinkler system. That varies, of course, but generally speaking, that's the law. And if in your plan, meron kang tatamaan na fire sprinkler, medyo wag mo nang baguhin yun. Bakit? Napakadaming problema attached to changing the sprinkler system. Piece of advice, wag mo nang gawin. So pag-usapan natin yung layout. Initially, meron ng suggested layouts lahat ng condominium units. Ideally, in terms of the plan, like every house, all your spaces need to have ample natural sunlight as well as natural ventilation. Kaso lang minsan mga condo units natin, ang sikip na niya, na wala kang masyadong spaces na pwedeng pagbagu-baguhin. Kaya nauwi tayo in some spaces na walang bintana. Is that illegal? Again, there's always a way around it. In my experience, I've designed spaces within condominium units na instead of yung walls mo is sagad sa ceiling, medyo binababa na lang natin. That way, ventilation will still pass through, and chances are, yung aircon mo naman is syempre nandun sa may side ng may bintana. So yung lamig ng aircon, dadaloy din hanggang doon sa loob ng kwarto. Kung one side lang ng unit ang meron kang bintana, what should you prioritize? If the unit is wide enough, then definitely lagay mo na doon sala or dining, and then a bedroom, if not 2 bedrooms. If you have a studio unit, then you have no problem. Free plan ang meron ka, and in the whole space will have natural sunlight and ventilation. But if your space was planned for a 1-bedroom unit and gusto mo talaga lagyan ng 1 bedroom, then normally, nakalaan na yung space kung saan mo lalagay yun, which will probably have the natural sunlight and ventilation. The problem comes when gusto mong bagu-baguhin talaga yung plano for whatever purpose you want. Kitchen, kailangan ba nasa tabi ng bintana yan? Not necessarily, because condominium kitchens normally have ventilation systems attached to them. Para lahat ng usok ng tuyo na niluluto mo, nakakalabas ng maayos at hindi aangal yung Amerikano mong kapitbahay. The bathroom, should that be by the window? Again, not necessarily, because these bathrooms have already been installed with ventilation systems as well. Many condominium units now normally have a balcony. So my mom or my lola would probably say, Huwag mo ilagay doon yung kwarto kasi yung mga bata baka tumalon doon. Ang sagot ko doon, proper parenting. Siguraduhin mo at turuan mo yung mga bata na huwag tumalon doon. Or they would know the repercussions if they played around at the balcony. In the event na yung anak niyo ay sobra talagang kulit. Anak ko ganun eh. There are always ways around it. You can always have a railing or a guard custom built to fit your balcony entrance. If not, I've seen some of those readily available in the bigger hardware stores that you would probably find in malls. Now let's talk about the electrical system. One of the common things designers would probably do in renovating your condominium unit is to design the ceiling and to provide a better lighting design. Chances are, lahat naman na nabibili natin ngayon na ilaw are LEDs na. But still, kung pupunuin mo yung buong unit mo ng LED, syempre malakas pa rin yung electrical load na kakainin nun. So you as a client should be careful in not asking for a lamp post inside your condo unit. Baka naman yung gusto mo, pagpasok pa lang ng unit mo, lahat ng tao nakashade sa liwanag. Hindi naman kailangan. Especially since the trend in condo units is normally providing more ambient lighting for a more homey feel. Ngayon, for plumbing and sanitary, unless wala ka naman babaguhin sa initial layout, then wala ka naman problema. However, there are certain units na provisions lang ang nilalagay ng developers or ika nga ang tawag nila is abang. Most probably, meron na yung abang for the soil pipe or yung inodoro, as well as different pipes for drainage. Siyempre, meron na rin yan abang for the water supply, which you'll finally just find as a stub out from the wall. In that case, then you really should have your plumbing and sanitary planned by your architect and of course certified by a registered master plumber or a sanitary engineer. Now let's talk about partitions. What are the common materials that would be best to use in your partitions? As a designer and a builder, gypsum boards or sheetrock are gifts from God. Ngayon, for the framing system of gypsum boards or fiber cement boards, nandiyan yung tawag natin na light steel frame where we use furring channels, studs, and tracks for flooring materials. Kadalasan ngayon, nauso din ngayon yung PVC laminate flooring, which is also very good in my opinion. Granite or homogeneous tiles are probably the standard nowadays. Somewhat older condominiums were probably delivered using 30 by 30 ceramic tiles. However, sabi nga sa inyo, ngayon mas common na yung 60 by 60 na granite or granite tiles. Now, there's an important consideration. If your floors were installed with granite tiles, or any tile for that matter, and you want to change that to something, let's say maybe the PVC wood planks, or nauuso ngayon yung polished concrete finish look, wherein mukha lang siyang binuhusan na semento, wala ng pintura, wala ng anything, nilalagyan lang natin ng waterproofing gloss or parang concrete sealer. If that's the case, okay lang yun. At pag giniba mo yung tiles, naturally, hahabulin mo yung same level. However, kung ang deliver sa'yo is naka-PVC wood planks na, or yung sinasabi ko nga parang polished concrete finish, for you to change that into tiles, medyo mahihirapan tayo dyan. Kasi hindi siya ganun kabilis gawin. It's not just a matter of adding tiles onto it, because naturally, when you add tiles, you're adding about 1 to 2 inches from the finished floor. So, tataas yan. Bakit siya problema? Because naturally, nung deliver yan, your doors were already installed and leveled to a certain degree. So pag umangat yung flooring mo, problema mo na yung doors. 2 options ang pwede mong gawin. Gibain mo lahat para bumaba uli yung floor, then you can install the tile. Or, kung mapilit ka talaga, tanggalin nyo yung door, abasa nyo sa ilalim, that way nabubuksan pa rin. But of course, I wouldn't advise that simply because sisirain mo yung buong feel and elevation of your condo unit. Let's talk about kitchen counters. If you're on a budget, you can make do with a laminated kitchen counter. Okay lang yan. That could also work for, not just for condo units. Medyo tipid siya. Although, ang tendency ng laminated kitchen counters dahil wood rin lang yung top niya, pag nabasahin, eventually aangat yan and masisira yan. If you want a more lasting finish, but still on the budget, you can use 60 by 60 granite tiles on top of your kitchen counter. That way you have a nice smooth surface, matibay, and easy to clean. The problem, however, when you use tiles on kitchen counters, syempre pag pinagdikit-dikit mo yung tiles, meron siyang gap in between. And naturally, when you're using your counter to prepare the food, minsan yung gap na yun, nagko-collect ng dumi and bacteria and all that. So medyo kadiri. Kung handa kang gastusan pa, pwede natin yung gamitan ng granite or granite slab, which is very common, again, everywhere. The problem with granite countertops, hindi siya palaging smooth na finish. Keep in mind, granite is a rock. It's a natural rock, so hindi yan perfect. And as much as they have sectioned it or they have cut it to be smooth, meron niyang maliliit na dimples. So, ano yung alternative natin if we don't want that? Kung handa ka talaga gumastos, dumadami na ngayon ang onyx na material. The easiest option for me is to use what we call solid surface or synthetic granite. It's a little bit pricier than your standard granite, but again, it's a lot easier to work with. It has a nice sheen, it has a nice gloss to it, and like granite, it would normally last a lifetime, with proper use of course. Ang problem lang sa kanya, kadalasan, if you put a hot pot or anything hot on its surface, it might leave a mark. But if you put it on top of a rag or one of those pot things that you put underneath, that's fine. And kung nagawa nyo na yun accidentally at nagkaroon ng mark, do not fret. It's always easy to polish that again. Just contract solid surface contractor and ipapolish na uli yun and back to normal yung counter mo. Then there's always stainless. I like stainless simply because, again, it lasts a lifetime. It's always clean and wala siyang seams halos na makikita. Counter behind me, that's stainless steel. Now, in terms of the wall, syempre kahit anong pintura pwede mo na gamitin dyan. You can also choose to use wallpapers or any wall treatment that you would like. Lahat naman ng condos pagdating dyan, they would normally allow it. If you have a unit that was already finished and maybe you want to hang certain things on the wall, well, katukin nyo muna. Kung concrete yan, then okay lang. Drill away. Kung kahoy yan, okay rin yan. Drill away. But the problem is, if it's made of sheetrock or gypsum board, like I told you earlier, as much as favorite ka yan ang weakness ng gypsum. Because gypsum board is relatively compacted, powderized stone that's covered with 2 sheets of paper. When you drill into it, there's a tendency na masira yung buong area na yun. If you're hanging something and you want to put in a hook screw, pag nilagay mo yung hook screw doon, chances are hindi mo rin makikita or hindi mo rin naman mararamdaman na kumakapit siya na maikit. So hindi mo rin sasabitan because naturally malalagdag mo yun. Now, is there a remedy? Of course. First and foremost, katukin mo yung wall. Pagka yung hollow part medyo nag-eliminate na, that means you have a steel stud where that location is. Doon, pag meron ka ng steel stud, by all means, you can screw in that screw and you can hang whatever it is you want to hang. Another option is meron normally nabibiling box na pwede sa gypsum board para pag pinakapit mo din yung screw, hindi siya gagalaw-galaw and protected yung wall and magkakaroon ng structural integrity yung screw mo. Pwede mo nang i-hang whatever it is you want to hang on that wall. But that's not easily available everywhere. That would probably be available, again, in the mall hardware stores. Now let's talk about labor. Chances are, if you get a contractor to do this, medyo malamang mataas ang presyo niya. Bakit? Kasi kadalasan, with regards to condominium units, the building's administration will have rules upon rules with regards to workers. So yung pagpasok pa lang nila sa building, madalas 1 hour na naubos. Paglabas nila, same thing. In most condominium projects will only have a window time where when your workers can be there, that's normally between 7 and 5 p.m., kakainin ng ingress and egress ng workers nyo yung oras of construction. So tatagal ba yung project? Naturally. Tataas ba yung labor cost? Naturally. In some cases, I've seen labor costs shoot up to about 80 to 100% of the material cost because of that very factor. Ingress and egress of materials, problema din yan. Well, hindi naman problema pero tedious. Dahil again, for security purposes, daming gate pass na kailangan lagi papirma sa administration bago mo pumahan may pasok sa building. So, kakain din ng oras yun. Ngayon, what are the fees that you will have to pay the administration with regards to your project? That naturally varies from project to project as well as from developer to different developers. Some will charge an arm and a leg. Yung iba, medyo affordable naman. Pero ano ba yung babayaran natin dyan? Meron tayong processing fee, meron tayong palagi dyan bond. Hindi mawawala yung bond dahil yung bond na yung babayaran mo at the beginning of the project, that's the building's assurance na kung may nasira yung workers mo or kayo mismo may nasira throughout the whole project or if hindi kayo sumunod sa guidelines ng building, pwede nilang singilin dun sa deposit mo. That's your security deposit or that's your construction bond. For utilities, water normally will be supplied by the building itself. Sila na mismo mayroong singilan sa inyo dyan. Sa kanila rin naman naka-attach yung main. Electricity ang medyo meron kayong kailangang address dyan. Chances are, yung building nyo wala naman yung power plant. So, ang direksyon ng kuryente nyo is still dun sa electrical grid natin sa labas. So, naturally, wherever you are, magbabayad kayo dun sa service provider. Dun din kayo mag-a-apply unless merong agreement yung building nyo with the service provider in which pwede rin kayo tulungan ng building para mag-apply for your electrical connection. In many cases in Manila, wala. Sasabihin nila meron, pero kadalasan wala. So to give you a final word on this, hindi naman mahirap magpagawa sa isang condominium unit. To some extent, tedious lang because you always have to coordinate with the building's administration. So at best, to avoid any problems, make sure to read all the construction guidelines by the administration and make sure, kaysa makipagbisitan pa kayo, sundin nyo na lang. After all, it's also for your safety. So until next time, maraming salamat po. Babu!
Arkitekto sigurado. Woot woot!